This is the story of Daddy and Mr Noonan and the giant cheese. Giant cheese. Now, Daddy and Mr Noonan had been to the new Aldi. The new Aldi was just around the corner from where he lived, and he was very happy because he didn't have to drive so far to get all his shopping. Is everyone listening?
Yes.
Where were they shopping?
At Aldi.
Right. Now, he went to the new cheese department and looked at all the cheeses, and there were all the cheeses that he normally saw, but then he saw this one cheese that he'd never seen before. It was called Orby Goolby Growing Cheese. And it was the shape of a circle, and it was like a wheel of cheese. So he picked it up and he said, "We should try this, Mr Noonan." And Mr Noonan said, "Yeah, okay, we'll take it home." So they took it home, and the person at the checkout said, "Now, Daddy, you know about this cheese, don't you?" And Daddy said, "Oh, yeah, whatever." He wasn't really listening. And the person at the checkout said, "Be very careful with this cheese. Read the instructions very carefully." Daddy said, yeah, okay. He wasn't really listening. And it's very important to listen, isn't it, Heidi?
Yeah.
So they took it home, and they got home, and they unpacked all the shopping, and they threw the cheese in the fridge. And he did not read the instructions. So they went to bed that night, and they were fast asleep in their beds, when all of a sudden there was a strange sound. You know what it sounded like? It sounded like the door of the fridge exploding off the fridge. Daddy jumped up and ran out of the kitchen, and the whole door of the fridge was across the other side of the room, and everything inside the fridge was gone. They looked at each other and earth. And then they heard something behind them in the darkness. And it sounded like this. And then it stopped. Daddy and Mr Noonan looked at each other and said, "Could this be the magic cat again?" And Mr Noonan said, No, it doesn't look like magic cat business. So they went down to where they heard the noise, and they walked down and they looked into the rooms. The lights weren't working again because it was raining and thundering outside. I think the electricity got cut off. So Daddy clapped his hands together 3 times, rubbed them, and said, "Illuminatium," which makes a light come off his hands so that they can see like a torch. And he was looking in the darkness, and just at the last minute he thought he saw a giant, big, round, yellow thing roll behind the curtains. He said, "That can't be right. Did you see that, Mr Noonan?" Mr Noonan said, "No, I didn't see that." So they kept looking around. And then at the corner of his eye, he thought he saw a big, yellow, giant wheel rolling down the hall. He spun around to look at it, shone his light, but there was nothing there. And then he started to smell something. Do you know what it was? Stinky cheese. He said, "Mr Noonan, have you been eating stinky cheese before bedtime?" Mr Noonan said, "No." "Are you sure?" "Yes, I'm sure." Then all of a sudden there was a strange noise. And a big, giant wheel of cheese rolled straight at Daddy and Mr Noonan. It rolled straight at them and knocked them over. It knocked them over, Piper. Daddy said, "What the blazes is that?" And then he found the wrapper on the floor. It was the cheese. And he picked up the wrapper and it said, "Do not refrigerate." That means do not put this cheese in the fridge. If this cheese gets really cold, it will grow into giant size. Come here, baby, come here. It will grow into giant sized cheese and come alive and eat everything in the fridge and try and eat you too. Oh no. What will we do? All of a sudden there was a noise again. And it rolled straight at him. And it hit Mr Noonan, knocked him against the wall. Bang! Daddy jumped out the way in time. And it kept going, rolling down the hall. Daddy said, "What are we going to do?" Mr Noonan said, "Get as many crackers and biscuits as you can and a knife." Ooh, listen to that. "Next time it comes past, let's eat it." and there was thunder outside. Shut up. Hey?
Did it sound like tonight?
Just like that.
And just like it?
And it came past again. And as it went past this time, Daddy grabbed some on his knife and stuck it on a couple of biscuits and ate it. And every time it come past, they got a bit and ate it. Yeah. They ate it and ate it and ate it until it was the size that it should be again. And then they wrapped it up in Glad wrap and put it in the cupboard. Because by this time it had warmed up. But now they were so full of cheese they couldn't eat their dinner. Daddy said, oh well, that's okay. We'll remember next time we go to Aldi not to get the Unga Bunga Bunga cheese. Will you remember that, Clark and Billy?
Uh-huh.
I will. Okay now everyone.
And now, Dolly.
No, it's very late tonight. It's time for bed.